every relationship where people are truly happy, pay attention. The man is in charge. He's the top G of that house. His woman makes him feel that way. She respects him for what he does, and they are happy.
Marriage is work.
And that's
marriage is work. I'm not here.
Go ahead, sorry.
I'm not gonna be here like, everything is bro. You have to work hard, to stay married, and stay together,
What advice would you give to a woman who's struggling in a relationship, and she's struggling in a relationship that she knows she needs to get out of? Okay. She doesn't know how. What words of encouragement could you potentially give to her?
Yeah. I think what I would say to her is, number one, focus on self-love, meaning really look deep into yourself and really get to know yourself, understand yourself. And a lot of that happens in some sort of isolation, whether that is the meditation, the journaling, and just spending time with yourself. And the reason why I say that is because many of times I feel like the reason why a lot of women don't have the courage to get out of
What advice would you give to a woman?
A toxic relationship is because they don't love themselves. They love that person more than they love themselves. When you love, truly, truly love yourself, you start to understand self-worth, self-value, and what it is that you deserve. And when you are so disconnected from yourself, it is very hard for you to look at yourself as if you're deserving of something better. But when you really go on this journey of true self-love, a toxic relationship is because they don't love themselves. And tapping into you and only you, you'll start to get the courage and the strength to do what it is that you need to do. So that would be my advice. Yeah.
Powerful.
Mm-hmm.
So many women ask me that question in my inbox.
In every relationship where people are truly happy, pay attention. The man is in charge. He's the top G of that house. His woman makes him feel that way. She respects him for what he does, and they are happy.
I'm saying maybe you should not want a man with money so that you can find someone who makes you happy. And I am saying you should not push back on somebody's preference just so they can find happiness. That is a settlement. You should never encourage Black women to settle. The fact that Black women
let me just okay.
Please, can I finish my statement? Just
no, you can't. Let me no. Now you're gonna listen.
Gotcha.
Gotcha. Now you're gonna listen. Because I listen to you, so now you're gonna listen.
Right.
It's getting heated.
It's giving pick me. It's giving pick me. It's giving pick me, and you do this to every Black woman that comes on here.
But you watch my show. But you here at 4 o'clock in the morning.
I love differing opinions. I love differing opinions.
Why are you here?
Pick me, Kendra. Just because you don't have high standards for yourself, Kendra, doesn't mean that Black women can't have high standards.
If you feel that way,
you want to settle. We don't have to.
The reality that needs to be said out loud is that as Black men age, their desirability increases. Thus, their optionality of women is always expanding. And the exact opposite is true for Black women. As we age, doesn't matter how much money we accumulate, our degrees or professional accolades, the reality is that our marriage and partnership market value is depreciating with every passing year. No matter how good we look, no matter how fit we are, men are still seeing primarily our presumed dwindling fertility as a knock against us. And speaking of fertility, that is another reason that I want younger Black women to seek marriage and partnership in college or right after, if that's what they choose. Because the number of college-educated Black men is so low when compared to Black college-educated women that we're all going to be targeting the same small pool of men. And as we heard today, on most campuses, there's like 7 Black women students for every 1 Black man student. Y'all do the math. So here's my advice. If you are a young Black woman in college and you know in your heart and in your head that you want to prioritize family, I suggest that you simultaneously pursue that MRS degree right along with that BA or JD. Because the handful of black college-age men that actually do desire to get married soon, and they do share that value system, and family is a priority for them too, y'all, that is an incredibly small pool, and it's shrinking as you get older. And by the time you reach my age, 40, you will be faced with different choices relating to life partnership and motherhood. Now, I'm not saying that delaying marriage or motherhood is a bad option, but it's one that comes with its own consequences. And our women deserve to know on the front end of their decision-making instead of on the back half.
In every relationship that's beautiful, every relationship that's happy, regardless of the socioeconomic scale, regardless of how rich or poor they are, regardless of how famous they are, regardless of how whatever, in every relationship where people are truly happy, pay attention. The man is in charge. He's the top G of that house. His woman makes him feel that way. She respects him for what he does, and they are happy. We're talking about me out here in the world, social media, whatever. It doesn't matter. Every man wants to be the man of his household, the king of his castle. Every single happy relationship is the same. I genuinely implore you to name a happy relationship where the woman's in charge. Name one. You can't. They end up broken up. She leaves him. Whatever. Name a happy relationship where the woman doesn't blindly say, okay, I won't go to that concert. Name one. There's only one framework in which people are happy, with the man in charge, the woman trusts and respects him enough to let him be in charge, and they're a happy couple in relationship. Any other type of relationship is a time bomb to the end.
What up, what up, what up, what up? It's the Hood Mystic representing www.hoodmystic.com, man. Heard another video. Give me a second. You get set up. Grab my headies. How y'all feeling out there, man? This is the Hood Mystic representing hoodmystic.com, columbianexchange.com, White Rabbit Psychedelics, and you know we come here to just have a conversation, man. I was driving today and Spirit had gave me this understanding about relationships, and I was like, man, I want to share this understanding about relationships on my channel. And, you know, in these next couple of videos, I'm going to be talking about meditation and spiritual things. So before I go off in the deep end, I just want to talk about some regular things that people, you know, could be going through in their life. And of course, I can only give it to you straight. You know what I'm saying? I can't give it to you no other way. You know what I'm saying? And the reality is this. Relationships are going to struggle and they're going to suck and they're going to be unhappy until people like realize these particular things that I'm going to lay out. I got 3 points that I want to lay out. And of course, I got some additional things to say on top of those 3 points. But my major point that I was driving and it really hit me, and I was just like, damn, this makes so much sense in my mind, that a relationship is basically a man that can tolerate being unloved. And I know that sounds crazy, but if you can handle the craziness of it and really start to think of it, I feel that it can assist you. Because when we think about love, I want to view it as a business. something that is extremely important. And if it is extremely important, emotions in relation to the thing that is important is don't matter, right? You never go to the bank and go to the bank teller like, you know what, I love you so much, you know what I'm saying, for, you know, withdrawing this $5 million out the bank. I'm gonna take all of my spiritual energy, all of my love energy, all of my crystals and meditation, and thank you for this $500 million that I'm depositing out the bank. We wouldn't necessarily do that, but we will go to a woman, will go to a man and say, I love you so much. I just love you so much. You like make me so happy. You make my heart beat. You make my heart flutter. And understand, like, whatever you say, whatever you feel towards a man, that's not necessarily love, right? Love is mutual beneficial goals, right? We sit down and say, what do you want out of life? What do I want out of life? And hopefully we have some form of understanding that is like is mutual, right? We'll say, well, I want to live in the city. Well, I want to live on the farm. Well, those are two different things. So if we can't work towards the same thing, then we're going to have a hard relationship. Now, the issue with this, as I'll be explaining in my presentation, is that we get into relationships way too soon. We get into relationships before we're ready for relationships. And because we get into relationships before we're ready for relationships, it tends to damage us in ways that are, from my understanding and from my study, even though people aren't specifically studying this type of stuff, it's doing a lot of damage to the brain and to the psyche. So y'all know me, it's not too many videos that I do where I don't talk about the importance of relationships. And I feel that the dynamics of those particular relationships has to be explored, have to be examined. Because if there isn't any concrete dynamics to your relationship, then your relationship is bound to fail. What you are waiting for is not a concrete dynamic with a specific individual. What you're waiting for is an emotional high. Now, whether or not you find an emotional high in another person is like, it's a small percentage, especially if you don't do no offerings to Aphrodite, right? Uh, and you know, Greeks built whole temples to Athena. Egyptians built whole temples to Isis. What goddess have you offered, right? You can't fall in love with a woman and not give thanks to Oshun, right? What type of goddess archetype is the woman that's in front of you right now, right? And then what type of goddess energy does she embody? What type of god energy do you embody? What is your mythology? What is your story? What is your mutual goals? Now, these types of conversations are not going to happen when you are 21, depending on if your nigga is like my age, right? You can particularly have these conversations if you like older men, right? But the point is, or you can be young and have these particular conversations, but it requires a level of meditation and it requires a level of prefrontal cortex development. So the overall goal that I'm trying to bring about with this video is that a woman not love a man through feelings and emotion, but love a man through being mutually beneficial to that man's life and respect that man's life and that man's vision. You can get with a great man and find yourself having negative feelings and justifiable negative feelings for a great man. And in your heart of hearts, you'll be thinking, he a great man to y'all, but he not so great. He fart in his sleep. Did you know that? I bet you didn't know he farted in his sleep. Meaning to say that you're in this person's life basically trying to dox him, right? Emotionally dox him, because I'm talking about a good man, right? Because the relationships that do not need advising, the conversation that do not need to be had is how to handle a ain't shit nigga, right? Because it's like it's like trying to explain a dirty stain on your car, like a mud stain, and you in the midst of a car wash. That shit just gonna get wiped away. So it's not no need to do a dissertation on an ain't shit nigga, right? What is an ain't shit nigga? An ain't shit nigga is a man who hasn't developed a prefrontal cortex, and a man that only secretes adrenaline and cortisol. He's either stressed or horny. Okay? A real spiritual or conscious or advanced divine masculine is producing endocannabinoids, right? He's not dependent upon external things for joy. He have an internal compass. He is in tune with his inner intelligence, making the proper decisions that he need to make. If a man is in tune with God, he do not need a woman second guessing him, right? He do not need a woman saying, well, I just want to say, maybe we should be doing it like this. Maybe we should do it like that. Why? Because that man is not an individual if he is in a relationship. Because men are givers. Once again, being in a relationship with boys, you like, what is this nigga talking about? I have to give my boyfriend $100 every time I get paid so he can buy a bag of weed and a bottle to go hang out with his homies. That is a person who hasn't had his prefrontal cortex developed to whereas his serotonin receptors and his risk aversion is at a high level, right? And in these type of men are sexually desirable by a majority of women. Why? Because you can level with a boy. You can be on the level with a nigga who is fucking up. Y'all can talk about the same shit. Y'all can hold each other. Y'all can console each other. Y'all is on the same level. Y'all listen to emo music together. Y'all have favorite songs together because y'all are having an emotional bond. The only problem with an emotional bond, when we go to the car dealership and we say, I love this woman so much. She makes me so happy. I love this man so much. He just makes my pussy just tingle. We won't be able to get a vehicle. However, if we came up with a financial plan and we executed that financial plan the same way as if we was at a fucking job or a fucking school or anywhere that was important, anywhere that was real, where we got a degree, where we got a pay raise, where the differential of a person living or dying because you're a paramedic, you can't be a paramedic and say, oh man, that is a amazing, horrible womb. That womb, oh my God, that is just, I just feel so compassionate towards this womb. I think, oh, I love this womb so much. No, you get right into stitching the wound up, catheter, the white tissue to absorb the blood, things of that nature. So we understand that we are logical beings and we do things that make sense in certain conditions. But when we get into the realms of dealing with a divine masculine, the energy that women operate in is emotionality and love. Not all women. If you single and its time is ticking and every day you is single, then there's no way that you're looking at a relationship as a complex layered thing that doesn't even require a specific type of person. Because a majority of men, if you said, I want to help you reach your goals, no matter what you look like, no matter what you sound like, no matter how you twerk, no matter you can't give a qualification that a man to sit back and say, nah, shorty, I can't fuck with you because you want to help me accomplish my goals. Because let me tell you something about a man. The only thing he don't probably have is somebody in his corner to help him reach his goals, unless it's his homies or his family. Right? Never do you just find strangers in the realms of dating and relationships trying to find somebody to build with that wants to help you. And I'm saying all of this because you still might find yourself in a relationship because at the end of the day, men just don't give a fuck. Men have a certain ability to just want to be with somebody, not be alone. And so we'll just take what we can get. Man, you could be dealing with a girl and you'll be like, damn, you don't know your ABCs. And I know for some people you'll be thinking like, what you mean she don't know her ABCs? You trying to say women is dumb? No, I ain't trying to say that at all. What I'm trying to say is that it's certain qualifications that a woman don't necessarily have to reach to be treated a certain type of way. Meaning that if you look a certain way, you act a certain way, a man's not going to qualify it with, do you know how to read? And I know you think I'm crazy, but a lot of kids go to school online. A lot of kids get just pushed through the system. They don't be really making people learn and really grasp and understand what's happening around them and comprehend what's going on. I got some videos I should have stitched them together, but I'll probably do it in a later video where kids nowadays they don't know how to read and write and comprehend or do nothing because of the phones and the whole list of other things. So let's get into my points because I could go on and on and on. But I want to kind of keep this a little bit succinct and a little bit concise in attempting to explain why a relationship is when a man doesn't let go. And I'm not saying this to be derogatory. I'm saying it to anybody who is finding themselves in a relationship to just stop and get off the bullshit and figure out that man's goals and that man's vision and help him reach that goal and reach that vision. If you don't want to do that, why are you with him? And if you don't have goals and vision, why are you with them? Right? Because imagine you're in a vehicle and you say, and I say, come on, get in the car with me. And you're like, where are we going? I say, I don't fucking know. I'm going to just be in the car and we just going to sit here. At a certain point, you might say it's fun to drive around and see the city. But at a certain point, you can't just drive around forever. And a lot of y'all is in relationships where y'all just driving around, sightseeing and things of that nature. And just think about how two people can actually make a mountain move if they consistently focus on moving that mountain. It's literal mountains that have been moved, right? It's places in Pittsburgh, you literally is driving through a mountain. At a certain point, that mountain was an impassable structure that people had to go up and around the fucking river to get from fucking Pittsburgh to Cleveland. And I'm sure one or two people said, well, I got the dynamite, I got the fucking bulldozers, let's make this shit happen. And now it's a fucking road in the middle of Allegheny Mountain where it wasn't a road before. And one person couldn't have never did that. So when you look at your relationships is an opportunity to accomplish goals. Your relationship is an opportunity to do the best things in life because y'all represent God. But 10 times out of 10, we're not understanding the intricacies of our God force energy as spiritual beings because we think that is a special trait or a special quality that certain people have and certain people don't. But the reality is our God-like nature is cellular. And if a person can find themselves alive in this moment, you could do one or two things. You can fuck up what is natural, or you could just align with what is natural. See, when you just simply do the natural thing, you are happy and healthy. When you do the thing that requires a lot of effort and a lot of energy and takes you out of your natural state of being, then what feels good just generally just drains you and has you in a state of confusion. Because that whole entire time you have an inner knowing that you're not actually tuning and tapping into. And the reason that we get to a particular point of lostness and fucked upness is because we have to actually start living around the age of 28 when we have a Saturn return. But by the time we turn 28, we've lived as much as we possibly could. And for most of us, not all of us, but for most of us, we've generally wasted our lives by the time we're 28. And then we go through a Saturn return in a dark night of the soul. And these particular things drive us into a deeper insanity. And then around 38, 40, we have our Uranus opposition from our natal to transit. And other people call it a midlife crisis. But usually, these two things, Saturn returns and Uranus oppositions, which are made to elevate us and bring us into our true self, are just opportunities for us to wish for a chance to do it right. You know, we get to a point when we're 28 and we say, damn, I really fucked up. We get to a point when we turn 40 and we say, damn, I really fucked up. So what does one do not to fuck up? Well, the main part is when you're in your 20s to not assume that you're grown because you turn 18 or 21, right? Because the government says that you're an adult. Because the government can call you an adult, but your brain is still fucking developing, right? The brain finishes developing and maturing in the mid to late 20s, not at 18 and 21. Ferrari Shine, I thank you for the donation. Thank you for the super chat. And appreciate everybody who support my channel. Like, share, subscribe to the video if you don't mind. This is just a late night vibe session that I'm having with some shit that's on my mind. You know what I'm saying? I don't be really doing shit specific for views. I be doing shit specifically because I feel that a person can actually benefit from it if they could actually understand what I'm saying, right? Because I know for sure when I was in my 20s, I felt like something was wrong with me for real. And nobody told me in my 20s that my brain wasn't finishing developing and I wasn't actually at my most mature state. So when I'm looking at the world, I'm feeling like something is wrong with me. But the reality is that I had to actually get into a space of true gnosis. But thank you to my soul that put me in particular situations and spaces where I could meditate, where I could kind of just let go and tap into myself, because I did have that time during my 20s. So if you find yourself in your 20s where you just want to sleep, you just want to stay in the house, and you just want to like watch movies or listen to music or learn a new skill or go to school or drop out of school, you really need to take advantage of those particular times. The main reason why is because your brain is not even developing or maturing, right? And if you don't have anybody that is willing to support you, right, during these particular times, then your life is going to be so hard, right? It's going to be so difficult, right? Because the way that the world is set up, right, you you can potentially be taken care of, right? But you're not going to be taken care of by a man that's your age. It could happen, right? But like I said, if a 21-year-old is with another 21-year-old, both of y'all brains is not really developed and mature. And the way that these children have been raised, with no loyalty. So, and just because we think that something is cool, it doesn't disregard the hormonal truth that human beings have. So this is why you see a lot of weird things like, relationship drama, domestic violence, leading to some very serious situations. And then women get into relationships thinking that their love for the man is going to carry the relationship, and not even really respecting, if you do have a relationship, is not consistent with your love, because a man can't love you like you love him, right? A man gotta love you with paying the bills. And then I understand you're saying, well, my man don't pay no bills, like my man live with me and things of that nature. Gotta understand the brain finishes developing and maturing in the mid to late 20s. And a lot of men, if they suffered a lot of trauma, a lot of things that they weren't able to counsel themselves through, or they were enabled, right? Because a relationship with a girlfriend is the same thing as being in a relationship with a single mom, right? Your mom is loving you, and she wants you to love her like she's loving you, right? But if you are a boy or a man, the way that you love is so different. We don't love differently. A man loves by providing, by by being there, by being counted on, by being loved, by being supported as he goes on his mission. Like if a man has a mission and his wife is to say, I am going to make your mission easier, whatever that is. Some dudes work at a factory and need their lunch packed and need their uniform laid out for them in the morning. Some dudes play basketball and just need you to do witchcraft so they can win the basketball game. It just depends on the dude. So the biggest solution to having trouble in your relationship is just simply going to the man and saying, how can I help you? How can I assist you? And if you find yourself not being able to say that to the man that you're with, you got to understand it's not his fault. Like, if I'm a man and I don't want to do nothing with my life, you can't deal with me and say, because I'm with you, you need to do something with your life. It don't work like that. I need to tune in to my God, and my God need to tell me that I need to do something with my life. Because if my God don't tell me, then it don't matter, right? And your love is not going to allow me to tune into my God, right? It's a whole system of universal truth called the human vessel that everybody can bear witness to and tune into. And if you don't want to do it, be in a relationship with a person is not a reason to do it. And a lot of relationships become spiritual development hubs because our ego is saying, well, if I love you, then you should look good, you should do this, you should work, you should have money, you should have this, you should have this, you should that. And if you don't match with my ego, I'm automatically on your ass, right? I'm automatically on your ass. And that is cool. But what if the burden of not being successful as a family, because we talked about this, is not just on me, it's not just on you, it's on us, right? If I fail, you fail. If I win, you win. So it ain't no finger pointing and no back and forth, because we've already established what is our goal as a family. This don't come in your early 20s when your testosterone is working against you. Why is your testosterone working against you? Your testosterone is working with your ego and your biology because it wants to reproduce, right? It needs to reproduce because it knows that it has got an expiration date. So when you in your 20s, a lot of dudes be having babies that they don't even know about, because that's how much dudes be fucking. You can't just be fucking people and get pregnant and not know the nigga's name, not know his social, not know his address. And a lot of people don't be really just wanting to get abortions like that. So generally you will have a baby and be like, where is that? Oh, some weird story. And that's just how it goes when you in your 20s, when you fucking. And you fucking at a high level, you bound to get pregnant by somebody who is not a good father. When you love a man, because you love a man so much and he treats you so good, or whatever the case may be, you just love. But love is not an indication of nothing. It's not going to cement anything. Love is it's like air. It might be a vital component, but it's not tangible. It's not going to keep nothing together. And that man have to love you to even be in a particular situation. And this is why it gets crazy, because the reason why I say this, because it gets a little convoluted if you don't understand, right? If a woman decides that she don't want to be with you no more, she generally ain't gonna be with you no more. But when a man think about it, he think about it in a sense where I'm going to lose a lot of different shit if I just leave, because I've invested. Because you don't get close to a man by not being like, yeah, hell yeah, I'm a for sure for shit show. For shit show. Don't even worry about it. Yup, And then shit be going in one ear and out the other, because you ain't even never met a nigga like this for real. And then for two, who gives a fuck, really? If you ain't never been told that you gotta respect a man to the utmost, you gotta shut the fuck up, you gotta listen to him, you gotta respect him, then you've been told some completely other shit. You might have been told that niggas ain't shit, niggas don't got no money, niggas is going to use you, niggas is going to do this. So why would you come into the relationship with the heart of respect? You wouldn't. So planning, prioritizing, and making good decisions happens later in life. It ain't even nothing that you even got to worry about. So if you don't got no type of discipline and guidance and structure, then it's not to say it what would just generally happen is that the man has just stopped fucking with you. Because it's like X's and O's, it's like pluses and minuses. And then you'll sit back like, damn. Because you broke a man's toleration point. And you'll be sitting there confused about it, because it's like, damn, I love this nigga so much. but you didn't ever care about his vision or his goals or nothing. You sat with a particular emotion that's not even substantial nowhere else but within the confines of a relationship. And who's to say, and these particular emotions that are not even real, because real love is not even something that a person even could live up to or expect. And I know it's hard to wrap your head around it, but let's continue. Let's talk about hormones, because hormones and how we feel are synonymous. And if we're stressed, which tends to happen to a lot of people who have to figure, so you're 18, 19, 20, 21, not knowing that you're not even mature to make real life rational decisions, but you make them anyways. And that puts you into fight or flight. And then you move into spirituality and never get the real therapy or never get the real psychology to the particular things that's going on within you, right? So it's no level of calming down. There's no level of peace within. It's only a particular level of redemption or trying to right your wrongs and trying to one day get it together or one day succeed or one day win. And all of these things are external. And the reality is this: all you actually have to do is tune in to your inner intelligence. And if you can't perceive it or understand it, that is the actual work. And all of this relates to hormones, because the reason why meditation is so impossible or not even something that most people think about is because they're stressed out about things that are not even, they're stressed out about the matrix. You're a soul, spiritual being having a human experience playing a video game. Let's just say you playing NBA 2K. At a certain level, you're playing the video game and you're losing to the computer. It's a certain level of stress. It's a certain level of anxiety because maybe you don't want to lose to the fucking computer. But at the end of the day, you don't necessarily get too mad about it unless you're a little kid, right? You ever been a little kid playing a video game and you losing and you got something on the line, it's a particular stake to it, you probably can't take it. I've been so mad, I threw my controller across the room. The reason why I got so mad is because my prefrontal cortex was not fully developed yet, and I wasn't able to make good decisions or process things. So when we talk about being able to process things, being able to be at peace, or even being a good wife or being a good husband, is really tuned in our ability to produce the proper hormones. Because you can get into a relationship with a woman and all you want to do is fuck her. There's 22 people in the chat. I wonder, when women deal with dudes, do you, one in the chat, if you do not like when your boyfriend or husband or significant other is only thinking about sex? 2 in the chat, if you love it when he is just always thinking about sex. 1 in the chat, if you do not like it when your man, I'm talking about your significant other, the one who you live with, be with all the time, if it's predominant energy is fucking, is that something you excited about, or is that something that you are not excited about? And that's 1 in the chat. Because I'm going to tell you, most men you deal with, they only want to fuck with you because they only want to fuck. And if you text them like, hey, come through and beat it real quick, they'll be there in 10 minutes. If you said, come over here and let's work on this loan proposal, they'll be like, shit, I got something to do with the fellas. So you gotta be real, you gotta be so cautious with the type of dude that you dealing with, right? Cause you can be texting a nigga and you like, shit, I really wanna see if you could come over, right? As your brother, as just your friend. Don't fuck with no nigga that just wanna have sex with you. Cause say if you catch feelings for this dude, you already know how he get down. You already know how he get down. You gotta actually build your energy up to a level where you dealing with niggas that actually just want to kick it with you. If you are only thinking that men want to have sex with you and you dealing with niggas that only want to have sex with you gotta figure out how you is going to be a different type of person. And it's one, targeting a certain type of dude, and B, having the heart to be an assistant, having the heart to be the type of person that shows up every day for that man like it's a job. And that's what literally a wife does. A wife is going to be an employee in a world of people that just kind of want to just really just have sex with you. Because the type of man that I'm talking about, he is going to have other women in his life. Because you are a woman too. I don't know if that makes sense, but you got to actually think about it. What you really want is exclusivity. But if you want exclusivity with a certain type of man, you got to earn that. You got to be of assistance to him. You got to show up for him. You can't be like, well, I just want a man that only is into me. Them type of dudes is lames and squares and weirdos. A dude that's only into you. I'm talking about in the dating phase. A single man that's bachelor. Why would he just be dealing with nobody? And he look good. He smell good. He work out. He take care of himself. He got his own place. You don't think for a second that he gonna have a bitch over? Why wouldn't he just have a girl over to get some ass from now and again? That don't mean that he married or in a relationship. Oh, are you single? If he not married, he's single. If he got a girlfriend, he's single. Girlfriend, boyfriend, I'm shit. Marriage don't even mean nothing for real. If you want to be honest. People falling out. Love is in the realm of Aphrodite, Venus, Oshun. And the thing about Oshun, she don't give a fuck if a nigga married. I mean, you gotta look at this shit realistically. You gotta get in where you fit in. You gotta be so intricate into a nigga's life that if he do decide to leave you, at least you will be compensated. Broke niggas don't get divorced. Cause what's the point of divorcing a broke nigga? You're not gonna get nothing anyway. You deal with a dude that if you do divorce him, you might get something out of it. So he'll be having a fucking incentive to treat you right. Cause a nigga gonna think twice if he gonna have to lose half of his income. Now you'll say, well, my nigga don't got no income. Is that his problem or your problem? Certain things we got to really start to sit back and really address. And it's not hard. It's not hard to get what you want. It's simple as hormones. Hormones are your body's chemical messengers. Once released by glands into your bloodstream, that act on various organs and tissues to control everything from the way your body functions to how you feel. One group of and see, when you in a relationship with a man and it's an emotional relationship, then you're basing your happiness and how you feel on him. And if you're not smart about it, you'll be wanting him to love you like you love him. But the way he love you is why the relationship exists. Because the way you love him is just an emotional feeling. Now, if a man loved you like, I love you so much, babe. He called you, hello, I love you so much, babe. Ooh, I just love you. Ooh, you just made me so fucking happy. Just looking at the way your dress look and your fucking high heels. And this is what he doing and saying to you. I guess at first it sound good. But over time, if this nigga ain't never took you out, he ain't never paid for shit, ain't never had shit, ain't never done shit, but when he see you, he just light up. See, I'm gonna tell you something that only work on niggas. See, a girl, I'm gonna tell you, if you really want to finesse, just look at a nigga a certain way. Look at him like he just fucking make your fucking life light up. Like it's only gonna work for so long because your soul is supposed to be that thing that lights you up. But just treat a nigga like that from time to time. He'll be satisfied with an expression. That's how dumb we are. Okay? So when it's flipped, it don't feel good. I promise you, it ain't gonna feel good for a nigga to just emotionally pour into you and tell you how much of a queen you are, how much you a goddess you are. You men can't love like that. Like, I know for a fact I gotta do something. I gotta take her to dinner. Something. I gotta impress her in some type of way with my knowledge. Gotta do a little magic spell, pull a rabbit out of a hat for a bitch, you know what I'm saying? Just do something impressive, make her go, wow, this nigga different. We gotta do this. One group of hormones are nicknamed the feel-good hormones because of the happy, sometimes euphoric feelings they produce. They're also considered neurotransmitters, which means they carry messages across spaces between nerve cells. What are the 4 feel-good hormones? Dopamine, serotonin, endorphins, and oxytocin. Okay? Dopamine, that's like what we play in NBA 2K and get, and this is that addictive sense. Like, to be addicted to something is the like is like dope, right? Dope. Remember we used to call drugs dope back in the day? Well, that's what a person can be. Right? And in a relationship could be, you could be addicted to this person at a hormonal level. We gonna get to how we bring these energies together, but at a certain point, when you with somebody and you with them and you producing cortisol and adrenaline, and what you think gonna happen? Why you think a boy and a girl can be together and start fighting? You think that they fighting because something specific happened? Or are they fighting because their body is producing cortisol and adrenaline at a high level, putting them into fight or flight scenarios and eventually fighting each other, or determining, well, this situation is so bad, I might as well leave. Now, when you are in an actual healthy and happy relationship, you're producing dopamine and you're really addicted and attached to that person. Serotonin, this is the prefrontal cortex. Right? When you make good decisions, your body release serotonin. And a relationship in the space of making good decisions is not one-sided. And if you would just listen to that man, see what that man wanted, and begin to act in a team-like concerted effort, and y'all built a life together, instead of you could be with a man and saying, man, I could do better. It's women that make a man feel like she can do better. And if you can do better, you need to do better. Right? You don't need to be with no man and feel like you can do better, because you got to understand your mind can also play a trick on you. And then too, how could you love that man better? That's your responsibility. That's your burden. And what is the specific act of love that you're doing? Because listen, the reality is you gonna fuck with that nigga till you leave that nigga. Keep it 100. Keep it real. You're not really in it for the long haul. You got one foot in the door and one foot out the door. That's not because your body is producing dopamine or serotonin. That's because your body is producing cortisol and norepinephrine. I can't pronounce it. Y'all know that. And adrenaline. And on the short term, you plotting your escape. On a short term, you thinking about, beating this nigga's ass. Or you got a real live problem with him. You got a real live problem with him because he's not loving you the way that you are loving him. But you got to understand, if you loved him, if he loved you rather, same way, couldn't, because it wouldn't be nothing to stand on. Endorphins. A lot of times, this is the pain-free energy. When you are working out, when you are meditating, when you are doing what you are supposed to do, you don't feel pain. When you are stressed out every day, when you are fight or flight every day, your neck hurt, your back hurt, your throat hurt, your head hurt, your pussy hurt, your ass hurt, your feet hurt. Because your body is not producing the neurotransmitter in the endo-opioid called endorphins. This is why motherfuckers take perks all crazy. You don't need to take a perk. Your body is a perk if you just learn how to meditate, right? If you learn how to exercise and eat right. Oxytocin. This hormone is the hormone that actually connects people, and understanding that it takes a while for this hormone to fully get developed inside of people. When you are young, you don't have it. Period, point blank. Especially if you are a boy. You don't have it. You can try to have it, but it's hard to have it. You develop it over time. And what actually sets it off for a lot of men is having a child. Being in a delivery room, being a supportive father through the pregnancy, things of that nature. Not just getting you pregnant and copping deuces. So it's like, I'm bringing this up because a person might say, well, I have a hard time, or I will have a hard time attracting a man in my life. And I'm saying you will have a hard time if you do not produce the hormones that's going to create the pheromones that's going to put you in the negative polarity to attract the specific energy that's going to magnetize towards you. What these neurotransmitters are, what these hormones are magnets. It is our inner magnets. We know how to be at the right place at the right time to get exactly what we need out of life. And this is something to feel good about. This is why when I say, when you deal with the soul and you do spirituality, is not for shits and giggles, and is not to be up in people's faces or watching videos. It's for you to specifically feel good about who you are as a spiritual being. When you feel good on who you are as a spiritual being over a considerable amount of time, your body begins to produce specific hormones that become to align with that initial feeling that you have of feeling good. And this is the energy that you need to bring into a relationship. It's going to be so easy to love a person when you are producing the feel good hormones. But see, men are not going to men are not going to put any prerequisite to be with you, right? You could be the type of person that produces nothing but cortisol, nothing but adrenaline. If that ass is fat, he not gonna care. And you know that he not gonna care because that's how we living. We know that niggas don't give a shit. So what do? Do you think that works in your favor? Or is you going to get in a line with your own energy and produce your own specific hormones that's going to create the feel good energy within yourself, as opposed to, allowing people to, continuously use you for your body, right? Continuously use you for a sexual object when you're not even able to actually get in tune with your own energy. So, once again, and when we go through these things to boosting our hormones, we got to understand that none of these things is getting more money, getting more dick, or getting more pussy, things of that nature, right? Simple lifestyle changes like diet, exercise, and meditation, and possibly improve your mood in the process. It's going to improve your mood, but this is why, got to talk about these relationships and shit like this, because when we talk about deep meditation, people will be like, well, why do I need to meditate? So you can attract the particular lover that you want to have in your life. So you can have the particular finances that you need in your life. You need to tap into your inner guru. You need to do this. You need to know that you have an inner knowing and an inner knowledge, and it's not about how hard you are working, how much clout you got, how many niggas you know, how many niggas you don't know. It don't have nothing to do with that. It's about how specific you can tune into yourself, because then you got to know, why am I tuning into myself? Because it's going to produce the feel-good hormones such as dopamine, serotonin, endorphins, and oxytocin. And as much as we would love these things to happen naturally, they don't a lot of times. We have to actually get ourselves into these particular spaces to enact these particular hormonal secretion. So, with that being said, the last point that I just want to bring up, one of the good books I read back in the day was Women Are From Venus, Men Are From Mars. And it is like one of the major parts of that book that really opened my eyes to how things could be is that when you do things such as like pay the bills, protect and provide, a woman might look at that as something that you just should naturally and normally do. And women don't understand, when you do things for her, you want her to treat you like you did something amazing, right? Now, the thing that you could do that'll have her in that mode is probably some shit that you don't think is of value. And it all depends. There's no real right or wrong to it. It all depends. Do you want to do the thing that is going to benefit your family? Or do you want to do the thing that make your wife have an emotional response? And vice versa. Are you going to do the thing that is going to make you happy as a woman? Or are you going to do the thing that is logical, that's going to allow your family to move forward? Your man wants you to do the best thing for the family, right? Your man wants you to be the best version of yourself for everybody involved. But what tends to happen is that we get into relationships and we let ourselves go. We imagine that we're in a situation with a person that they gonna take us as we are. And we don't have to do nothing or be nothing because we love them and we care about them. But I would say if to have a successful and happy relationship, you treat that man like he a job. Like if you quit on him, you would get fired. Like treat that man like he is a job. But you like him, you love him, right? You love him so much, right? Scratch all of the emotions and just be there for him, show up for him, right? How can I help you achieve your goals? How can I help you get to your vision? What skills do I need to learn to assist you? And a lot of times, man, I'm gonna tell you, this is just words that is coming out of my mouth. A lot of times, chicks is gonna treat you on that aloof. They gonna act like it's nothing to do. They gonna act like it's just chill time, vibe time, relaxation time. But they might see you in your motherfucking old ass Toyota. They might see you like living in your living situation and shit like that. They might see you how you giving it up, and they might be like, "Damn, that's crazy." You gonna have to figure it out. But I love you so much. You gotta, as a man, you gotta be so smart to say, you know what? I can do bad by myself. Because they're not gonna respect nothing that you do for them. Not in a bad or derogatory way, but it's just the truth. It's not how they look at it. And you have to protect yourself and your energy because you're the one that's going to be loving in real time. And is emotional love bad? No. But as a man, you know that if a girl just dapped you up, but y'all got money together, you would be cool. If she never got no money with you and she came and gave you the greatest hug ever, a deep sensual kiss, rubbed you on your ass, you would be mad. You would be salty. Because you don't want to be loved like that. You want to be loved for real. Like you want to be loved in reference to life. And what will happen, what would tend to happen, right? And this is real. I've seen it. Be like, I'm with you. I'm doing so bad, right? I'm not making no money. I'm not doing nothing, right? And then she leaves you. And then she starts doing good. You know why? Because when she was with you, she wasn't doing this shit that she was doing when you wasn't there because you wasn't there to help her out. Like if I know, just think about it. If I personally knew somebody that was just going to just help me out and give me money, I wouldn't grind and hustle the way that I do. So when she left you, she going on trips and on doing all types of cool shit, and you just sitting there like, damn, why couldn't you do this when we was together? So, like I said, it's just words that's coming out of my mouth at the end of the day. But if you're able to like sit and really have a conversation, or if you're single, I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna know what to look for. You're gonna save a lot of time by switching to Geico. Right? You're gonna save a lot of time and money by switching to Geico. These are the things that I want to do with my life. And this is the type of woman that I'm looking for. This is the type of woman that I'm trying to have to help me raise my kids. This is that. I'm really not here for the emotional shit. I'm not really here for the lovey-dovey shit. I sent you on your girls trip going to goddamn Miami. I'm trying to do a family trip to goddamn Miami too, or wherever. I'm on that type of time. We're going to save money together. We're going to invest together. We gonna do nothing but real shit. We ain't gonna do no lovey-dovey shit. We ain't gonna waste no money. We not gonna go out. We not gonna do nothing until we come up. You're not gonna judge me. I'm not gonna judge you. We just gonna do. We gotta have money for our kids. We gotta have money for our kids. And why are we saying that when we just meet? Because we gonna be fucking. What do fucking create? Fucking create kids. So if you thinking about having kids, you're going to have some type of financial resources and things set up for them so they can be in a good position at a certain point. Because if you don't have these things set up for your kids is going to be behind. Because what we had to deal with is the realization that, oh shit, people's parents is helping them out, and my parents ain't helping me out. So generally, if your parents is helping you on a down payment to a house, and you working as a fucking manager in a business or some shit like that, then your problem and troubles is not the same as a person who got to fucking get an entry level position at a fucking call center when they fucking 18 because they ain't got no money and nowhere to go. Right? So got to take care of your kids and all the love in the world. You can't open up a trust with how much you love your fucking kids. I love you so much, little TT. I love you so much, TT. Here goes this $100 million trust for when you turn 18. You can do all you want to do with all the love that I have for you. As much as we want the world to work like that, it don't work like that. So I love spirituality, but I also love being real about what's really happening out here in this world. So with that being said, man, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I hope I didn't trigger you too much. I just hope that you were able, because I'm a man, and I'm a man that, you know, I don't desire to be loved. It's not even something, I demand to be loved in a way that I want to be loved. And this is not something that I always was like. I was more of a people pleaser, trying to make people happy for a large point of my life. And I would never suggest that to nobody, right? Don't please nobody. Please yourself. Make yourself happy. And if a person come into your life, they either going to add to the happiness that's already there, or they gonna kick rocks all the way fucking down Market Street, right? Cause you don't owe nobody shit, especially somebody that you just meeting and getting to know. So with that being said, and it's on the person that you dating to have the skills and the knowledge to be able to keep up with you, right? So niggas don't got no standards, so hopefully a man could listen to this and stop just fucking any old thing just because he don't even understand his value. That was another reason that I did this video. I was just thinking, like, you know, men really don't even value themselves as being the type of man that could say what they want out of their relationships. I'm here to tell you, you can say it, you can demand it, because it is your life, you know, and you deserve to live a good, happy, and healthy life, because this is why we're down here. And it might seem crazy now, but trust me, trust your inner being. And if a motherfucker, like, if you follow your soul and a person go crazy and a person hates you and a person don't like you, this is what you gotta let them do. Just let them do it, right? Because when they clear out of your energy space, you gonna continue to follow your soul and be able to attract and magnetize the right energy from a spiritual soul based level. And when you find that energy, y'all gonna be able to move mountains together. You don't want nobody that's just draining you of your energy. You want somebody that you can go on this adventure with, that you can live life with. Find it within yourself, find it within your partner, and don't settle. All right, peace. Have a great evening. Like, share, subscribe to the channel, share the video, and I'll see y'all on the flip side. Peace.